Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you do not know who I am, my name is Kayla Rundle, and today I'm going to be completely gutting out my interior and installing Alcantara Headliner. This has been difficult for me to find a lot of content on. There's not a lot of videos out there, especially I don't think I found one Camaro video of somebody changing out their headliner into Alcantara. So I did some research and hopefully this goes well. I have never done this before, so you guys will see how this goes and maybe one day do it for yourself. But I ordered some real Alcantara, which we got a roll here. It is so gorgeous. The terms Alcantara and suede are usually used in the same context, but they're actually quite different. There is real suede, which comes from cowhide. Then there's obviously fake suede, which I'm not a fan of, except for the fact that this is fake suede, also known as Alcantara, which is made of polyester and polyurethane. And it is used in a lot of automobile applications because it resists stains. If it gets wet, it's super easy to clean. It doesn't damage it. It's way more durable than real suede, so it's just way better to use it in your car just for cleaning reasons. It's also stronger than real suede, and then you're not also killing a cow. So I have this giant roll of real Alcantara, which Alcantara is actually an entire brand as well, and this is branded from Alcantara, which took me a while to find, and I will put where I found this roll down below in the description. And then to apply this headliner, I'm going to be using the Permatex Automobile Headliner Adhesive. I read some reviews online and everybody suggested to do the 3M or the Permatex Headliner Adhesive, so this will be my review on how all this works. The hardest part of this process is probably going to be getting the headliner out of the car, because a lot of people told me that it is impossible to get the headliner out of the Camaro, so I feel like if I take enough parts out of the car, I'll be able to get it out just fine without cracking it, since the headliner is made out of fiberglass. And then this way I can show you guys that my carbon is a real carbon roof as well. I actually drove all the way up here, up north in Flagstaff, Arizona. If you don't know, I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona, and up here it is in the low 70s. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm having a lot of trouble working on my car in 115-degree heat in my garage, so figured I would just make this a nice little vacation and take you guys with me, and let's start building the Camaro interior together, since I haven't really done anything in the interior of this car, which I can't believe yet. There's definitely a lot more interior videos coming soon for my Camaro. And if you don't know who I am, this is a 2013 Camaro SS. I've been building it myself in the last 5 years, and specifically more in the last year and a half on my YouTube channel. This is my baby, and I'm excited to show you guys more and the build process. I have lots and lots of things to tell you guys about what's happening to this car. It's completely changing. The heart of her is going to be coming out soon, but I will announce that in the next video. I wanted to show you guys a quick before, just before I start ripping it all out, if you don't know what the headliner currently looks like. So this is the headliner material currently. It has like a hole-ish look. I've never really been a fan of it. And then the A-pillars as well are plastic. Here's the material difference. Is like a plastic, and then the headliner, which things get caught in this headliner and it stains super easy. Now first thing I'm going to do is take out the seat. I'm going to take out the seat using a T50. There's only 2 bolts that connect the seat to your car, along with the electronic control in the center of your seat underneath. Very simple to do. The hardest part is pulling the seat out because it's really heavy. But time to loosen these bolts. bottom of the seat, top seat. I want to show you guys how I got these rear seats out. For the top portion of the seat, you have this clip right here, and the seat is held by a rod through this way, so all you have to do is pull this lever back and it should slip up through this hole right here and the seat will pop out. Just make sure you push this lever back for the seat to pop out. And for the bottom portion of the seat's just seated in this. You just have to push it down this way and this whole seat will pop out. Sometimes it gets caught in these, so you just have to grab the bottom of the seat and yank it upwards. These tabs are actually pretty strong. They never really break on me. Now that we have the top portion of the seat out and the bottom portion of the seat out, we're gonna have to undo these little tabs. We can release the headliner. So all these plastic pieces we're gonna have to take out. Along with this on the seat belt pops up and we have to undo that screw because obviously that's attached to this portion right here. You could take a flathead, pop this airbag thing out, which this itself is not the airbag. That's just the best place for it to say airbag is right here. The airbag's actually seated along here. So it can come out, but we'll pop that out because I believe there'll be a screw behind there as well, so we'll check that out. And I already have these out from the last time I took out my headliner, and there are a couple tabs here. This whole process is basically just looking around and seeing what tabs, what bolts, what screws you all have to take out in order to drop the headliner. It's honestly pretty easy. I've done it before. It's only hard if you're missing and can't find screws and you're like, what else do I have to take out? And you can't figure it out. That's the only hard part. So I'm just going to go around and be taking out all the bolts. And we need to pop out all these. Well, it's now the morning. It got too dark to see what was going on in the interior. But pulling off the interior is relatively simple. Do not be afraid of pulling the panels off. They're all clips. None of them really have any screws. The only two screws you're going to have to take off is for the seat belts. And then where that little airbag tag is, that I think is a 7mm bolt. So that 7mm bolt, and then I think it's a T50 bit for where your seat belt is held onto. For all the other plastics around the car, like this giant panel, this is one giant piece. When you are pulling this off, you just grab the panel and pull away from where you think it is connected, because it's a flat surface and then it'll have a tab and you pull it away. So it's pretty simple. You just have to get your arm behind it and keep pulling it off, and be sure to look at what panels are on top of it. Like for example, this one where your feet go, it sits on top of this piece. So I just pulled this piece towards me this way and it all popped off relatively easy. The only problem that I know a lot of people have problems with is this unit up here. And I've never even taken this apart yet, but first off, you want to get the lens cover off, and when this is up here, you just want to pry at these tabs. Just put a little flathead up into these and then pry it out, and it really just pops out. You just pull it down away from the mounting point, and then behind this piece, there is the light bulb, which I took out, which you just pull directly down as well. You don't twist it out like a normal light bulb. And then you'll see this, which is where the light bulb goes through here, and then the cover sits on top. And this, I did the same thing. I put flatheads by these tabs, popped them in, and this whole thing just popped out. And then with that, we are left with this white piece right here where all the light and all the switches go. Woo! Finally! So the screws are behind this white guy in there. To pop this guy out of there, I just stuck a screwdriver behind this piece, pulled this first, and then the clips then slid out that way. The clips are inset like that, but you'll be able to see the 2 screws. There's one right there and one right there. Oof. I'm running into trouble with the A-pillar, but it's probably because I'm not strong enough. Whenever I can't figure it out, it's usually because I'm not pulling hard enough. But for this weather mat, I just pulled it directly away and it came out. It has like a little bit of yellow glue behind it, but I'm not gonna worry about that. And then this I'm having trouble with. I'm using all my might, and I smacked my finger and it was bleeding. Smacked it on the side of the fiberglass really hard because I was like pulling. It was like, pow! I'm like, perfect. That is great. Hopefully this is worth it. But I really want these A-pillars off because I want to wrap these as well. So I'm gonna keep yanking at it. The trick is for the A-pillar is I pulled it towards the back of the car because I was pushing down on it, so it wasn't really coming off because it wasn't perfectly set on the clips. There is this trap in here that's holding it on, so we have to undo that. Woo, A-pillar out. For this clip on the A-pillar, it is attached inside of here, so you have to put a screwdriver on this back piece and push this piece downwards, so then this whole piece can slide off and then pull the entire A-pillar up towards you. Not too bad. I don't know why I was struggling with the A-pillar that much, but I was also struggling with this whole middle unit for a while just because I didn't realize you had to take out that white thing. This headliner is almost ready to drop. I think we could pull this off straight down. So that's holding the headliner. So I'm gonna take this weather strip, pull it down. Oh. Just slowly falling off the gar, and this one just fell on the ground next to me. Oh my god. Sounds like I'm breaking it. Oh! Now the headliner's about to fall on top of me. Haha. Found this from then doing my roof. While I'm pulling down the headliner, it looks like that wire in there is glued. So I'm gonna have to pull that apart. This is torture. Pure torture. Slowly and surely peeling off the headliner material. Oh, my Dremel's so beat. guys would never believe what I went through to get this headliner out of the car. I had to bend it. There was no other option to get out of the car. But it doesn't have any damage to where you can even see I bent it. So I think it'll be fine and it'll look fine when I get in. And like, I didn't want to keep it in there and Michelangelo it upside down. So, and then you have the risk of the Alcantara sagging and stuff because it's better if you let it dry when it's facing upwards like this. But I'm just gonna do a light sanding on areas where the foam is still attached just to make it all smooth. So I don't have to, so there won't be any ridges and bumps, and this is all for nothing. Cutting it. Oh God. So I'm running into a little bit of an issue. This material is not wide enough to fit onto the headliner, so I switched it diagonally or horizontally, whichever way this is. But the long way is going sideways, which is not what I originally planned. And we have a good like 4 or 5 inches in the rear that the material won't reach. But I figured I'd rather have the material showing in the back of the car rather than on the front, because this lip is the thing that messes it all up. Because if you look at it from an angle, it like goes outwards just enough for the material not be able to reach that. So got to do it sideways, and I'm going to cut a piece and cover this in the rear, which is going to be better than having a cut in the front. Hey. Switch ways. Done. Lots of air bubbles. I used a little piece of extra material just to like pull the air bubbles out. It kind of works like a wrap, and I was able to poke holes where there are bubbles in the material. Now I just have the last little edge piece that I'm going to finish, and then I'm going to trim all the edges. Day 3 for headliner install. I got the material all on here and all cut out. I think I just have to cut out a few small holes for where the sun visors go, but it looks pretty good. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever done on my car. Yeah, very, very difficult. The only few mistakes I made on this is there are like a couple wrinkles like in this corner, but this comes to a T, so I don't know how you wouldn't wrinkle that. And I want to show you guys a quick trick. I learned this in school actually, but for the blades on the side of the foam, in order to get this like perfect foam cut, because sometimes the foam will start like beating. In order to stop that from happening, while you're cutting the foam, you want to make sure your blade is very, very sharp. A dull blade will mess up your cuts. And you want to hold the blade at a 45-degree angle away from the material, just like this, and pull very consistently all the way through. And if you pull consistently all the way through, then you shouldn't have an issue with all that foam beading up. And that became very helpful in like areas like this where you have to like cut corners and everything. You just hold the blade at a 45-degree angle away from the material. All right, I'm gonna conquer the A-pillars, and I used 120 grit sandpaper just to like scratch up the surface, since it had like a shiny surface, which I didn't know if it would stick as well once I were to glue it. But for this, I'm just gonna be using the same headliner adhesive, the Permatex headliner adhesive. I'm gonna spray this and then hopefully get it wrapped as best as I can. God, it's amazing to watch this glue work. I don't want to get glue on my hands. I try to pull the material so it doesn't really get bubbles in it, because that's when your life just becomes an absolute pain. And I want to glue this side of the A-pillar. I try to spray like 6 inches away from the surface and just cover it with the glue. I'm not being very careful with the amount of glue I'm using. I noticed if I let the glue dry for like at least 10 seconds before I apply it, it helps it have a better adhesive, because it's the glue is so wet right away. So if I let it start getting tacky and then lay the material over, I figured that gives more success for what I've experienced in the last 48 hours. I'm gonna kind of let this dry. We'll have enough material just to do the other A-pillar. And I guess I'll just leave the C-pillars alone and the B-pillars. The B-pillars are impossible though, because it goes around the entire window. The A-pillars are what I really cared most about, because that's what you stare at in the car. So I was also worried about making these look better than the rest. I also wanted to do this because my plastic pieces in my car, they have like leftover paint and stuff from the paint job, so they always just were like stained and dirty. So I didn't know what would come out of doing this, how good it would look, but it's not too bad. It's a really pretty material, at least. If it was like a crappy material, then this would probably look absolutely terrible. This glue stuff is like pure concrete. It's pretty impressive. It sticks fast. I was watching videos and it said like, oh, like let it sit for like, you know, 5-10 minutes. Like, absolutely not. You would, whatever's there is there. Getting the headliner back into the car. Woo! Oh my God, I put it upside down. Now it's just the process of getting the whole car back together. So the first thing I reattached was these rear pieces. I didn't even attach them all the way yet. because that's what's really holding up the rear, because I was sitting here struggling, holding up the headliner with all my might, and those C-pillars helped me. They saved my life. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go around and reattach all of the clips and make sure it is in. I slipped the A-pillar in, and that's what it looks like. I'm gonna use a Sharpie and color that white part so that it looks cleaner. Hopefully that A-pillar stays. Broken clip. It looks so freaking nice. I got this all put together except for this piece that I broke, but I'm on a time constraint, so I'm gonna figure out how to fix that later. Finally finished the interior. This was one of the toughest projects I've ever gone after by myself. Definitely having like a helping hand would have been a lot better, but I'm really happy with how it looks. The A-pillar is kind of having some trouble, so I'm gonna work that in a little bit more, but done for today. It's been a long project, but I did the A-pillars, I didn't do the C-pillars. It looks really amazing. Very clean, more luxurious. I know a lot of people don't really ever look up, but the stock material is just gross looking. It has like a netting pattern, and this is what they use in like Mercedes and all nicer vehicles, and with everything strapped up, it just looks amazing. I was tempted to almost leave this off so you could see the carbon roof because it looked so pretty. I was staring at it for a couple hours, but now my roof is like all luxury in the Camaro. But I appreciate you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoy this video. It was kind of chaotic, and feel free to comment below if you guys have any questions about taking out the headliner or ripping out the interior whatsoever. I feel like I'm a pro at it because I feel like I've done this for 3 days straight, which I have. So it's been a lot. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys all had an amazing day or night, whatever time it is, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.